Friday, October 13, 2017. Dr. Kassim Ahmad in Memorium. The late Dr. Kassim Ahmad is a black dot in my worldview of things. His politics does not interest me, much less his position on Hadith and Islam. I always thought a chap who claimed and has been acclaimed to be a scholar could have done much better than being anti-Hadith man. With all the scholarship and the hardship he had gone through his entire political life, I would expect him of all people to get not lost of the light at the end of the tunnel. Islam is, in the final analysis, about closeness and mahabbatullah. And one cannot get close to Allah without knowing and loving his messenger, Muhammad, peace be on him. Just because there is a wide spectrum in the practice of Islam due to the varying ways people perceive and accept the sunnah of Muhammad, peace be on him, does not mean one, in order to simplify and unify things, one can do away with sunnah Rasulullah. One do not burn one's grandfather's rabanayam that is old but still working just because one cannot get along well with one's dad. Just look at what the young Turks had done to pass just because one guru, Haji Hadi, had gone bonkers, and past now seem to be running around like a headless chicken. Differences are mercy and rahmah from Allah, not a squash. Just look at the rainbow, how pristinely beautiful it is. Anti-Hadith and a species belonging to the same genus, liberal Islam, to me is just the preserve for a prematurely retired, arrogant, young cardiothoracic surgeon, still wet in between the ears, young journalists, retired ambassadors who should know better, daughters of ex-ministers, generally angry middle-aged ladies, etc., etc., and etc., and whatnot, who wish to bathe in glamour and at the same time revel in their utter ignorance of their agama for public viewing. But I always put Dr. Kassim Ahmad much higher on the pedestal than this such lowly vocation. But alas, life is always like that. When you least expect the best that you should thought of a person somehow turns out the other way around. It is a disappointment really. Anda bukan saja sesat, bahkan Anda menyesatkan. This harsh sentence still rings loudly in my ears, coming from one ex-Brigadier General, come DG of Ugama, Brigadier General retired Dr. Zainal Abidin, many years back during the very public inquisition of the Shaykhul Al-Kam. So one fine day, some years back, I was surprised when this fine elderly gentleman, Dr. Kassim Ahmad, very frail looking, was pushed into my consultation room. I recall that I was elated actually. For years I was trying to get to see him personally, to give him some advice on the Hadith thing. Many young professionals with mainly secular education and little else have been misled on the wrong path. And there he was, being wheeled into my consultation suite. It is as if the mountain has come to Muhammad. Anda bukan saja sesat, bahkan Anda menyesatkan. I pushed that aside. After a brief examination and an echocardiogram and x-rays, I came to terms with his condition. This 82-year-old veteran politician is a candidate for sudden cardiac death any time now. He has a large, failing heart, hardly moving, with severe aortic stenosis, probably of rheumatic origin in childhood. Probably his difficult marhain childhood had contributed to that, since repeated streptococcal throat infection was endemic during his time with his poor childhood background, and most probably compounded by additional ischemic cardiomyopathy as well. That was the thinking in my mind. Surgical risk is plus plus plus. Medical treatment is just symptomatic at best, a candidate for sudden cardiac death. That was my internal conversation and executive summary on him. At my hospital and in my practice, it did not take long to arrive to such summary. One visit or at the most two. Dr. Kassim, the outlook is grim. You have a big failing heart with your main valve needing to be replaced as well. Additionally, before a surgeon can do anything operative on you, they will need a roadmap, an LV angiogram and coronary angiogram. And even that itself, in your present state, constitute high risk. Doc, I just need 2 years to complete my work, and after these 2 years, I can close my eyes. In my mind, I wish I could tell him that even that 2 years is a tall order, but I kept my mouth shut. Too much bad news and awe for the old man already. 40 years in the practice tells me that shock in small doses over time can be taken more easily. In his very frail condition, I'll be lucky if I can find a very senior brave surgeon to replace his valve and do bypass graft as well. The possibility of dying on the table is just too high. No surgeon worth his salt would want that to happen. We spent the next 10 minutes discussing his new book plan he was writing. Frankly, Dr. Kassim, if you were to ask me, and I'm a fan of Hamka and Tafsir like you as well, your position on Hadith is Islamically not defensible. I do not think at this juncture in your life you should concentrate on that. There is not much time left, frankly. But Doc, you are wrong. Those people from Jakim don't have ilmu. They are cocooned in their own ignorance. Well, Dr. Kassim, you are more well-read than me. But the little I know about Islam tells me that you are on the wrong path. You should come back to the right path. You are not only lost, many young people got dragged along and lost as well, following you. Some of them I know personally. That was my parting remark. This week, the week after, Dr. Kassim Ahmad did not turn up for his scheduled follow-up visit. I assume he went for a better second opinion, see some young cardiologists elsewhere who know how to keep their mouth shut. May his tawbat, inshallah, be accepted by Allah, Rabbul Jalil. May his soul be praised among the blessed. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar, wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim, wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim, wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim.